If this, all right. Well, first of all, who are you and why are you running?
Well, you probably know my name is Jeff Greene, and if you watch the results last night in the three elections in Pennsylvania, Arkansas, and then Kentucky, you could see the anger and frustration that people all over America were feeling towards Washington, and I share that anger and frustration. I mean, these guys just can't get anything done. Our unemployment rate here in Florida is sitting at 12.3%. The national average is already a disaster at 9.9%. We're 25% worse here. The foreclosure rate should be improving. Florida is one of the first places. Florida is one of the first places to get hit hard by in the housing crisis. We should be emerging first. We're not emerging first because I think that these career politicians in Washington and in Tallahassee, in the case of Charlie Crist and Marco Rubio, have failed to address the problems that are facing us. Just since Kendrick Meek's been in office, who's running for the Senate seat, just since he's been in office in the last 7 years, we've lost almost 700,000 jobs here in Florida. So I'm looking at it thinking, so as a Floridian, and especially with a newborn baby, whose life I want to, who I want to see, and I want to see my newborn baby have the same opportunities I had, and I want every Florida baby to have those opportunities. I'm just not happy with the way things are going. These special interests in Washington, they're lining the pockets of all these politicians. And as a result, we have bad decisions. So I'm running because I'm angry, frustrated. I want to go to Washington. I want to create jobs. And I want to put Florida first.
I'm sure you see. Well, every article I think that's written about you attaches billionaire to your name.
Yes.
Is that a help or is it a hindrance?
I think it's entertainment. I mean, people are intrigued with that kind of thing. I've never attached it to my name. It's, I grew up in Massachusetts where people, even the wealthy people, are called poor millionaires because they still drive their old Chevrolets and are conservative. So I was brought up to be more modest. So it's nothing I would be saying, but I understand that people like to add that to my name. So it is what it is.
Well, but on a serious note, I mean, is that what gives you some credibility because you have the money to run a competitive campaign?
Well, I would hope not. I mean, I think it's certainly an issue. There's no question. It's a statewide race in Florida is very expensive, and to get your message out is costly. But I think what really distinguishes me from these other three career politicians is, I'm a self-made man. I started with nothing. When my parents, I grew up in Massachusetts, and my dad was a textile machinery dealer. We made a nice living. My mother was a stay-at-home mom and a Hebrew school teacher, and my dad lost his livelihood when the textile mills all closed in New England. And my parents moved to West Palm Beach in 1970. My mother still lives in Century Village. She's been there for almost just over 35 years now, in the same place. And we had nothing. And when they moved here, my mother had to take a job as a waitress. She's a college graduate. She had to take a job as a waitress to make ends meet. My dad bought a vending route, which, it sounds like a business, but really you're buying a job. And I remember driving right around here. I mean, through farms. A lot of these areas were farmland, and going to fill the vending machines with my dad. I remember going into his place in Boca Raton, filling up the van with cases of soft drinks. They were heavy. I mean, for a guy who was in his 40s, he once owned his own business, and I was helping him load the van. Then we go to the motel, and we carry the different Sprite and Coke, and we put them in the machines. And it was a tough living, and he never really recovered from that. As a matter of fact, my dad, he got here in 1979, he died of a massive heart attack at the age of 51. And I think a lot of that was from the stress of just losing everything and never recovering. And it's really made me understand the struggles of people. I mean, I think of my dad literally every day of my life, and I think how tough it was for him to lose everything, and so it makes me very sensitive to the people in Florida who are hurting now, and that's why I want to go to Washington and do something about it.
How much are you prepared to spend in the race?
Well, look, I don't have a budget at all. I'm telling you the truth. But I'll spend whatever it takes to be competitive with. The professional politicians who are running and the special interest money they have. But I can tell you this, I won't spend money. I'm not going to take one penny of special interest money, PAC money, lobbyist money, not during the primary, the general election, or after I go to Washington. So, and I think that this election really will be about, it'll be about ideas. It's not going to be about money. It's going to be a clear choice between three, failed career politicians who just have not gotten the job done. And the alternative is me, a self-made man who's worked hard every day of my life since when I first came to Florida, my parents, I was a busboy at the Breakers Hotel working my way through college.
You mentioned the car issue before. What kind of car do you drive?
I have today we're at an Escalade, so we have a driver because for the campaign we had, but I'm not really big into cars. I have an old Range Rover. It's a 2006 Range Rover. Okay. I'm not really into cars.
All right. No common car of the people, vehicle of the people, or anything like that.
I have a 2006 Range Rover, and I don't have any sports cars or anything. But I drive I use a car to get around.
I know our time is really tight,
okay.
But let me just ask you about the kind of the tabloid stuff that also gets connected with your name a lot. Mike Tyson, Heidi Fleiss. Anything you want to say about those names that pop up with you?
I mean, it's all kind of dealt with on the website. I mean, I didn't live my life looking over my shoulder thinking someday I'm going to run for public office. Who should I associate with? I don't condone, what they did. I mean, obviously, but that's what they did in their lives. But I think this really isn't about the past, and I think the Floridians are going to realize this is about the future. It's about who's going to be best equipped to create jobs, who's going to really, without special interests money, put Florida first and get to results. You got to realize, I understand business. I'm the only one of the candidates who's signed the front of a paycheck and not just the back of a paycheck. I worked my way through Johns Hopkins University, where I finished before I was 20 years old. Then I got my MBA at Harvard Business School. And then I've worked in the private sector my whole life. I've created thousands of jobs. I understand how this stuff works. And so for me, that's going to be the choice. It's not going to be about who my friends are. It's not going to be how much money I'm spending. It's going to be a choice. People are going to say, do I go with keep re-electing the same career politicians who have brought us to where we are today, whether it's Marco Rubio, Charlie Crist, or Kendrick Meek, or do we try something different, someone who's actually been out in the private sector, who's created jobs, who's a proven job creator and is successful. Success versus failure. It's a very easy choice.
And I know you've just launched a TV campaign, but what are you doing yourself? Obviously today, what are you doing here on the campaign trail in Broward County?
I'm doing, we have a great team that's helping to organize this because it's a big state. I've told them we want to get a bus as soon as possible, and we want to take that bus to all 67 counties, and we want to be on the road all the time. And to me, today I'll give you an example. They have us scheduled for 7 events, and I said to them, well, can't we get another? Like when they thought you weren't going to make it, I said, come on, let's get this one. And then we get a call from Jeremy Ring. He said, can I meet you? I said, okay, we'll meet you. Everything I've done, I've taken very seriously in my life. I've never been scared of hard work. And this is very serious to me. This is the future of our country. And I'm not willing to sit back any longer. I'm sorry I didn't get involved sooner in this.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Are we going to talk? Are we done? Or?
I think, yeah.